Well, from third grade until eighth grade, I was going to a Jewish Jewish private day school, JDS, in Rockville, Maryland. And that wasn't too good for me. They expected a lot, and I just couldn't give it to them. Being a kid with ADHD, I never could. When it really hit sixth, seventh grade, I was trying to have trouble. My parents had to help me with my work. I just felt like. And eventually it turned out, I just never wanted to be home because it was just so frustrating being around my parents. I'd go to school, and most kids don't like being at school, but it's kind of like my escape route for not being home. And hitting high school, it really got even worse. About around after eighth grade, at ninth grade, I switched to public school because I was failing miserably in my private school. It just went down the hole, really. I got into drugs, violence. Things that just normal kids don't do. I hung out with the wrong groups. I come from a very wealthy Jewish family. I should be hanging out with kids who are like me, that will influence me better. When I first came to Matara, I met Stuart Chestner, and he really diagnosed me, and he saw that I had a lot of problems, and partly because of my medication. I was taking so much. I was like I was almost like a drug addict, if you think about it. I just didn't know what was going on. I was, high all the time off things, and I really wasn't there with everybody else. I was in my own world. And what he recommended, after a certain amount of time, he lowered my medication, and I had a lot of I would say revelations, being off of medication, and I had a lot of I faced a lot of poor choices also. But I think it really helped me in their approach, Matara's approach, to my medication was just, I think it was great. I think it helped me a lot, and I think nobody else would have understood, because they just kept giving me more and more back home, and here they said no, you need to take less, you need to be yourself, you can't be, Ben Kravitz, the one who was always on medication. You need to be Ben Kravitz. So it was great coming here. I have to say for the therapeutic part of this program, I do have a private social worker. Not everybody could do everything, but they're there to talk to, which is nice. Nobody's judging, nobody's here to hurt you. The only thing they have here is help, and really just they're here to help you. When I graduate from Matara, God willing, I would like to, I actually thought about doing the tzava, the army, the Israeli army. Something with mechanics, because right now I'm working in a musach, which means, garage in Hebrew, auto garage. And that's also a blessing from the Menahel of Bnei Chayil, the principal of Bnei Chayil. Also, Alan, he hooked me up. It was, terrific for me. When I first got here, when I was first got on a plane and came to Israel, I had a lot of hate for my parents. I cursed them. I was very, very rude to them, even though they were doing me a huge favor. And being here just really, I think it changed that. It really helped. Skype conversations, God bless that. Great thing. You'd be miles away, and you could speak to your parents, right? Great connection, and they made it possible. Stuart and Alan, they made it possible. Speak to my parents whenever. On whatever. And now, I really, I feel, I love them, and I've always loved them. But I never knew it, I never really knew it. And being here just makes me want to, love them even more because of the opportunity that I'm having here, the opportunity that I have here. The academic program for Matara I think it's quite exceptional to any other academic program that I know of, my parents know of, anybody else I know of knows of. And I think that it's great for me personally to be able to work with someone one-on-one in a classroom. It's quiet, it's just you and the teacher. There are groups sometimes. I learn Jewish studies with Daniel Brown and one other boy. But that's very, very nice. It's as opposed to a class of 40 kids, 30 kids in a public school, where you're too shy to say anything. Here, you open up. It's just you and him. It's great. The structure through Missouri is also very, very nice. Everything is online, so it's you click and submit. You just wait and you hope for the best. And Alan, I have to give Alan, some minutes a lot of credit because he's pushed me and he's really gotten me to do work when I really just haven't, just don't want to do it. And I wouldn't be graduating if it weren't for him. And I just want to say thank you, Alan. When I think about leaving here, when I think about being by myself, having my own life, just having a future, I don't know. I mean, it's a little bit scary, to be honest with you. I mean, before when I got here, I couldn't think of anything. I was just like, I want to get out of here. There's nothing important to me except getting out of here. And now it's more of like, it's sort of like, I don't want to get out of here. No, actually, I do want to get out of here. But I want to get out of here on a good note. I want to get out of here with the most I can get from this place. I don't want to escape, but I want to at least, I want to leave knowing that I did the best I could, and that I made a difference in my life, and that they helped me make that difference.